This is CBS News New York.
Right now at 5, the city and country pause to remember the victims of 9/11. We're live in Lower Manhattan ahead of the commemorations happening today, 24 years after the attacks.
A political assassination in broad daylight. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot and killed during a campus event. The suspect still on the run as reaction pours in.
Charges expected today in the tragic killing of a Queens couple whose house was set on fire. The suspect captured after an intense manhunt, but the neighborhood is still reeling.
Good morning on this Thursday, September 11th. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Mary Calvi. And let's turn to Tony Sadiku and find out about your first alert forecast at 5 o'clock right now. Tony.
Good morning, guys. And so we're past our one-day speed bump where we'd have the clouds and a little bit of moisture with showers and drizzle. Well, that's behind us now. What's today about is about high pressure and a much quieter weather day. And it's a brighter day, and it's a warmer day, and perhaps some of the best weather in the country for a stretch of days through Saturdays. We can at least keep it quiet. Now, with clear skies, temperatures, they're taking advantage of that. There's a slight drop in the numbers compared to yesterday. It's not as coolest of the week, but you see the spread of 50s that extend much of New Jersey. You get into the city, you're in the 60s, and the Hudson Valley, it's a blend of 50s and even some 40s, too, in some of the higher elevations. So that's where we'll start today, but guess what? It's not where we'll be this afternoon. This is the story today, the lone 80-degree day of the week after, look at yesterday. It was a struggle, wasn't it, with all of the clouds? Well, those clouds are long gone now. We do watch as a front moves through tonight, so there is a slight drop in the numbers on your Friday, but it's going to be a splendid stretch for the next few days. We'll have more on how long this continues in a bit. First, though, let's talk about your first alert traffic and check in with traffic reporter Guy Stanier. Good morning.
Good morning, Tony. We're going to start in Westchester. We have construction that has one lane closed on the southbound side of the New England Thruway between exits 16 and 15 in New Rochelle. Traffic is still doing pretty well at 501, but we're going to keep a close eye on this. If you're driving into the city this morning, you can expect lots of delays and detours in Lower Manhattan. This is surrounding the 9/11 Memorial and Remembrance. We have some subway issues in Manhattan. The 4 train is running with delays in both directions due to a rail replacement project near Borough Hall. Also, some Brooklyn-bound 4 trains will end at Bowling Green. Checking the rest of Mass Transit's Big 4, everything running on or close to schedule for Metro North, PATH trains, New Jersey Transit, and the LIRR. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Guy, thank you. Today we mark 24 years since the worst terrorist attack on American soil. Nearly 3,000 people killed on 9/11.
This morning we honor the lives lost with a commemoration ceremony in Lower Manhattan. Natalie Dodridge joined us live from Lower Manhattan with more on how the city will pay tribute to the victims today. Natalie.
Chris and Mary, good morning. A solemn morning, and right now cruise organizers are making their final preparations for today's commemoration ceremony, which begins at exactly 8:46, the moment that first flight struck the North Tower. That is then followed by a citywide moment of silence and the reading of the names.
Every 9/11 commemoration starts the same way.
My brother, Robert T. Bobby Hughes Jr.
Family members who lost loved ones in the deadliest terror attack on American soil gather at Ground Zero to honor the 2,977 people killed on September 11th, and also the 6 people killed in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing.
We're here for a somber remembrance at a memorial we wish we didn't have to hold. September is a time of great sadness in the fire department. It's a time when we reflect on our losses.
The ceremony includes 6 moments of silence, recognizing when the plane struck and when the towers fell, as well as the attack on the Pentagon and crash of Flight 93.
The terrorists thought they broke our spirits and broke our resiliency on September 11, 2001. As you and I know, September 12th, we showed them who we were. We got up. Teachers taught, builders built, retailers sold their goods. And because we got up, America got up. And America knew what our resiliency represents. And we will never, never forget.
Tonight, the iconic tribute in light, two blue beams, will once again rise from Lower Manhattan. This year, it will be joined by a citywide display called Tribute in Lights, with buildings and bridges across New York illuminated in blue.
Now that we're here at the 24th anniversary, we know there are 100 million Americans too young to remember 9/11. When they see this Tribute in Light, which is created by artists who managed to recreate the Twin Towers that were here before the terrorist attacks of 9/11. They see these two towers of light in the sky created by 88 48-foot square lights arranged in a pattern that sends that light into the sky so high it can be seen for 60 miles.
And following the ceremony, there will be a special moment of tribute honoring the FDNY members who have since died from 9/11 related illnesses. In Lower Manhattan, Natalie Duddridge, CBS News, New York.
Natalie, thank you. Nearly 3,000 people were killed, including two of our own at CBS, Isaias Rivera and Robert Patterson. Isaias was a CBS2 engineer who worked at our transmitter inside the towers. He lived in Perth Amboy, New Jersey with his wife and 4 children. He worked for CBS for 30 years.
Robert was also a broadcast engineer who worked there. He was originally from Massachusetts. Before working at CBS2, he was a member of the U.S. Air Force and attended the Air Force Broadcast School. Both men were on the 110th floor of One World Trade at the time of the attacks. We at CBS2 honor our colleagues today and send our heartfelt condolences to the Rivera and Patterson families.
To commemorate 9/11, President Trump will attend tonight's Yankees game. Here's a live look at the stadium right now. Yankees posting to social media, letting fans know there will be enhanced security, to say the least. Screening and limited parking in the area. They're urging fans to arrive at Yankee Stadium earlier than usual to navigate street closures. The president will not be in Lower Manhattan today, but he will be at the Pentagon this morning before coming to New York. And we will have live coverage of the 9/11 commemoration ceremony today, beginning at 8:25 a.m. You can watch that on our air and also, of course, streaming at CBS News New York.
5:06 right now, and breaking this morning, the assassination of Charlie Kirk continues to send shockwaves across the country.
The conservative activist was shot dead while speaking at Utah Valley University yesterday, and this morning the search now continues for his killer. Elijah Westbrook joins us live here in studio with the very latest on the case. Elijah.
Well, Chris and Mary, I can tell you that police at this time do believe it was a targeted attack. Kirk was taking a question about gun violence and mass shootings when a single shot rang out, striking his neck. This morning, authorities continue to search for the gunman, who remains at large.
The manhunt for Charlie Kirk's killer continues this Thursday morning. What was supposed to be a debate on the campus of Utah Valley University Wednesday afternoon turned deadly.
Do you know how many mass shootings there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence?
We're freezing the video right before a single gunshot struck Kirk's neck.
He just fell backwards, and then we ducked and hid behind some stairs.
Utah's Department of Public Safety believes the suspect wore dark clothing and fired a single shot from the roof of a nearby building up to 200 yards away, sources tell CBS News. 2 persons of interest were taken into custody and later released Wednesday after police said they were not connected to the shooting. One of them has been charged with obstruction of justice.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Supporters brought flowers to the Phoenix offices of Turning Point USA, the organization Kirk founded to motivate young conservatives.
He was one of ours. He was a champion of everything we believe.
Kirk was a conservative podcaster and activist who had become one of the most influential millennial voices in the Republican Party, even appearing multiple times with then-candidate Trump during the last election. Leaders across the political spectrum, including all current and former presidents, swiftly condemned the deadly shooting. On social media, President Trump called Kirk, who was an influential MAGA ally, a martyr for truth and freedom.
Because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before.
Now, the president has ordered flags to fly half-staff on federal buildings through Sunday in honor of Kirk. The FBI said in a statement Wednesday night that it is devoting, quote, full resources to this investigation. Mary?
Elijah, thank you. We'll have continuing coverage on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Look for updates on any developments on CBS News New York.
In other news, the FCNY battling a multi-alarm fire in the Breezy Point section of Queens. Smoke from the early morning fire could be seen for miles. The call came in for the fire burning on Utica Avenue shortly before 3 this morning. 2 people received minor injuries. There is no word on what may have caused the blaze.
5:09 this morning, we are awaiting charges for the man accused of killing an elderly couple and setting their Queens home on fire. Eagle-eyed officers spotted Jamel McGriff yesterday afternoon at the West 44th Street and 7th Avenue in Times Square and took him into custody. The 2-day manhunt started after firefighters found 76-year-old Frank Olton and his wife Maureen dead inside their burned Belrose home. Investigators say Frank was tied to a pole in the basement with multiple stab wounds. Maureen was found on the first floor. While neighbors are relieved the suspect is no longer on the run, their heartbreak remains.
Sorry that it happened. I mean, they were a lovely couple.
Relieved that he is in custody. We have neighbors who are extremely nervous.
These people, all they try to do is open their hearts and open their homes for somebody.
Hopefully for the family, it's some sort of closure that they, he's not running the streets anymore.
Police say the suspect has a lengthy criminal record. He was arrested in 2005 for a sexual assault and robbery in Chelsea and was currently out on parole after spending 16 years in prison for robbery. Last year, he was charged for failing to register as a sex offender.
And new this morning, a water main break in Inwood. Take a look at the mess here. This water began spilling into the street just before midnight. The video was taken earlier this morning near Nagel Avenue and Dykeman Streets, where you can see that water still gushing. It's forcing street closures, and drivers should avoid that area.
5:10 right now. Hoboken is still under boil water advisory this morning after 2 water main breaks on Tuesday. Garden Street is back open to traffic after crews made final repairs yesterday. Newark Street remains closed between Washington and Park. Residents say they're used to this, but businesses say they're losing money.
We're seeing a lot of customers just walk out. We're boiling it for the hot coffee, and then everything else we have made with bottled water.
At this point, keep a couple gallons in the fridge on hand just in case for the dog and for anything else we might need, so that way we can get around the boil water notices. But yeah, pretty used to it.
In a statement, Veolia Water said main breaks are common in Hoboken due to aging infrastructure. Testing is underway. The boil water advisory will be lifted once the New Jersey Department of Environmental Conservation determines it is safe to drink.
Time now to get over to meteorologist Tony Sidiku in our virtual studio this morning. Hi, Tony.
And hey, Chris, our quiet weather pattern resumes today after a small blip yesterday with some drizzle, some showers, and a lot of clouds. Those clouds are long gone now. It's a much quieter stretch with high pressure building in. With that comes a sunny day. Start to finish, it's a beauty. Spend some time outside if you can. Nice low humidity, 60s take you all the way to 80 degrees. It's a fast climb, and any layers you've got on this morning, you're not going to need this afternoon. Good day for a first alert flyby from our Chevy Chopper. Other than some patches of fog, no major issues weather-wise for your morning commute. But let's see if that translates to what guys got to say at 5:12. What's the latest?
Well, Tony, we have one issue in Westchester. We have construction that has at least one lane closed on the southbound side of the New England Thruway between exits 16 and 15 in New Rochelle. Thankfully, traffic's still pretty light at 5:12 this morning, but we'll keep a close eye on this. Checking on Long Island's Big Three, lots of green here. That's some good news. The northern state, the southern state, the Long Island Expressway, those are all moving well. It's a similar story in northern New Jersey. No problems for Route 80, Route 287, 280, as well as the Garden State Parkway. We do have some subway issues in Manhattan. The 4 train is running with delays in both directions due to a rail replacement project. Also, some Brooklyn-bound 4 trains will terminate at Bowling Green. Alternate side parking is in effect today citywide. Chris and Mary, back to you.
Guy, thank you. Coming up, paper Social Security checks are ending. The deadline to switch to direct deposit.
Sentencing day for Nadine Menendez, who was convicted in a bribery scandal involving gold bars and political favors. How long prosecutors say she should spend behind bars.